Lisa Denae Live starts now, only on Stunner Radio, the heart and soul of the culture.
This show is sponsored in part by Flat Fee Tax Prep and Services, offering quality tax preparation, serving clients nationwide. For more information, visit www.flatfeecreditandtax.com. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you. Hey guys, hello. Good evening. Happy Friday. It's your girl, Lisa Denae, and you are now tuned into Lisa Denae Live. I'm so happy to have you with me tonight. Please let me know if your audio's good, your video's good. I want to know if you're good, if you can hear me good, I'm sounding good, I'm looking good. Just let me know, let me know your thoughts. So anyway, guys, it is Friday, and I'm just, kind of checking out my lighting here, but it's Friday, October 22nd. Can you guys believe it? We are nearing the end of October, and it is so very hard to believe. However, it is the case. We are nearing the end of October. So I just want to shout out to everyone who has been supporting Stunner Radio, supporting Lisa Denae Live. And as you can see, I am not at the studio tonight. And from here on out, I'm going to be doing a lot more on location from Mikasa and on the road. Okay, more on that later. So anyway, on tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about overcoming obstacles to your success. But before we get into that, I want to give a shout out to all the international listeners that tune into Stunner Radio, to our people in Italy, Mexico, Zimbabwe, Ghana, the Philippines, Germany, of course, Germany, we love you. You ride with us and you rock with us heavy. And of course, to all of our people here in the good old US of A, thank you for your continued support. Now, before I go, I do want to shout out to Lisa, the boss lady, one of Stunner Radio's on-air personalities. She's going to be having the Boss Up Boot Camp tomorrow. So if you are in Houston and surrounding areas and you want to see myself, Lisa Denae, Lisa the boss lady, Catherine Mitchell of Flat Fee Tax and Credit, and LaFlower Bowie, who is a life coach and inspirational and a spiritual healer, come on out tomorrow. It's going to be at the Reverse It Center here in Houston, Texas. I'm going to tell you more about that later on in the show. Now, I've been talking kind of fast, but that's why I'm sipping on some Amsterdam coconut, y'all. Some Amsterdam. And I just sip it straight. No chaser. That's the best way. So, anyway. So we're going to be talking tonight about overcoming obstacles to your success. Now, I know if you've been following Lisa Denae Live, and this is my 49th episode on Stunner Radio. Of course, I've had this show for over almost 5 years and been on other stations. But on Stunner Radio, this is my 49th episode. So shout out to me. But if you've been following the show, you may have noticed that I've changed my format a little bit. That's because I'm becoming more of a lifestyle show. We're going to be talking more about mindset and improving your life, enriching and empowering topics. It's okay to talk about Kanye and the Kardashians, all the foolishness that goes on in the world with y'all's folks. However, I want to do something that makes sense for me and for my brand, and that is always growing, always being empowered, and always doing more and more and better, living a full life. That's what the life is all about, and that's what my show is going to be about. So I hope you enjoy the new format, starting with tonight's show. We're going to be talking about overcoming obstacles to your success. So with that being said, I want to get into it. Success. What does it mean to you? Success, the definition. So you can't really overcome obstacles to your success if you don't know what success actually means to you, because my definition of success and what success means to my life might not be the same for you and your life and the path that you're on. And I think that might be a very big deal for some people. And that might be why you're not able to actually see success or the level of success that you want, because perhaps you're not clear on your level of success or your definition of success. So for me, My definition of success is living the life that I want, living my life my way, on my terms, living the life that I want, and enjoying life, having a full, enriching, and productive life. Now, a lot of people that we consider successful in this society, believe it or not, are not even really living the life that they want to live. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, that's not true success. Because if you're not happy in your life, if you're not living the life you want, it doesn't matter how much money you have, how many homes you have, cars, how many wonderful relationships you have. If you're not living the life you want, I cannot consider that a success. However, if you're living the life you want and you got one house, one car, may not be married, may be single, may not be a business owner, may have a job that you love, don't let anybody convince you that you're not successful. Because if you are living the life that you want, you are successful. Change the definition of success for you and for your path and for what you want in your life. Your definition of success may not mean winning a Grammy Award, because you and I both know there are people that have won several Grammy Awards and were not happy with their lives, may not even consider themselves a success. So that's number one on overcoming obstacles to success. You got to know what success actually means to you and to your path and your walk in life. If you don't know what success actually means to you, then how can you really achieve success? That's number one. What is your definition? Know your definition of success. Number two, overcoming obstacles to success, you have to understand we all have obstacles. Every individual person on this planet, in this universe, has obstacles that they must overcome to be successful. So, number two, what I want to say about overcoming obstacles is the one of the biggest obstacles that you can have to your success, and sometimes we put this obstacle on ourselves, is comparison. When you compare your life to someone else's life, your body to someone else's body, your looks, your husband, your children, your house, your career, your movement in the world, when you compare to other people, you are creating an obstacle to your success, because trying to keep up with other people and trying to do what they do or compare your life to their life is ultimately not going to make you happy. Because here's the thing that I think most of us have learned about social media: everybody look happy, and I'm gonna drink to that, but is everybody really happy? So to compare yourself to other people and compare your success, your business, your career, your marriage, your goals, your children to other people's will become an obstacle to your true success. Because instead of doing what you really want to do, you will actually change course because somebody else is doing something else and you're making a comparison. That may not have been the course that you were meant to be on. Keep that in mind when you are running your business, or when you're living your life, when you're building relationships, when you're parenting. Everything that you do, keep in mind, do not allow social media, do not allow your social circles, don't allow society to cause you to compare your situation to someone else, because we all have a different path to walk. So number two on obstacles is comparison. Number three is very similar to the obstacles that we face. Overcoming obstacles to your success is what we're talking about. Number three, my third point, is competition. See, a lot of people create these obstacles to their success because they're too busy competing with everybody. Yes, if you're a business owner, you have competitors, business competitors. You have brand competitors, people that do the same thing and have the same product or service that you have. However, you are not in competition with them. Even though they are a brand competitor, your only competition should be your yesterday's version of yourself. My only competition to Lisa Denae is yesterday's Lisa Denae. That's the only competition that I have. And so I'm not even really competing with her because she's rooting for me. Okay, we teammates. But on a serious note, That is one of the biggest obstacles that people create for themselves, competing with each other. So it's got so bad to where you see doctors and lawyers, you see people who really don't want to be on TikTok. Why? Because they're trying to compete. They're trying to stay relevant in a field where they never really were relevant. If that's not your area, you don't have to go into TikTok and be relevant. Be relevant in your area, be relevant in your field, be relevant in what you do, because doing that will get you off track to what you actually even set out to do. So, number three is competing. Competition can become an obstacle to your success. How do we overcome that? Focus. Focus on what you do. Focus on your corner of the world. Focus on your specialty. Focus on your brand, what you do. I personally love TikTok. I love to watch it. I've made a few TikToks, but I'm not ever going to be spending 2 or 3 days on TikTok because it's not my thing. It's not my jam. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to compete with the TikTokers. I love what they do, and the TikTokers make my day. But that competitive spirit can be a huge obstacle to your success, because the more you try to compete with other people, the more you miss the point of what you're trying to do. So that's my third point. My fourth point, and on this, after this, we're gonna take a break. One of the biggest obstacles to your success is unrealistic expectations, whether it is of business, whether it is of your relationships, whether it's of your cash flow. If you have expectations that are unrealistic, that could be a huge, huge obstacle to your success. Because when you open a business, most people know you're not going to make that much money in your first few years. You're going to be putting money into your business to grow your business. But if you're so tuned into what someone else is doing, and you watch these and look at these overnight sensations that appear to be overnight sensations, most of us know these people have been working hard for many years. And then you become off track because you're having unrealistic expectations. And then that becomes an obstacle to your success. Unrealistic expectations. Let me give you an example. If you're in a relationship, if you're in a marriage, and you marry someone that you know good and well is not romantic, but you're watching movies and you listen to your girlfriends, you're looking at social media, and now your expectation is for him to, you want to come home every night to rose petals and a bathwater ran. Well, if you know he wasn't a romantic, your unrealistic expectation could be an obstacle to the success of your marriage or your relationship. So that's my fourth point: unrealistic expectations. You guys holler at me at the comments. And if you're listening or watching to a replay, still put it in the comments. I do monitor the comments. I want to know what you think about this. Obstacles to your success. Now, the first few that I mentioned were obstacles that we actually create for ourselves. When we come back from the break, I'm going to talk about some obstacles that are a little more outside of our control. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. It's Lisa Denae live right here on Stunner Radio.
Calling all entrepreneurs. This is Lisa the Boss Lady, and I have something amazing just for you. The Boss Up Bootcamp is coming to Houston, Texas on October 23rd from 10 to 3 at the Reverse It Center in North Houston. If you're an entrepreneur, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if your business needs a boost, this is the event for you. We have 3 dynamic speakers and, of course, me, Lisa the Boss Lady, ready to give you so much information on how to do just that. Visit my website, www.lisathebosslady.com. That's www.lysathbosslady.com. Can't wait to see you there.
All right, guys, we're back and we are talking about overcoming obstacles to your success. In other words, winning against all odds. That's what I'm about. That's what your girl Lisa Denae about. And I wanted to start talking on this topic because, I have a new book coming out in 2022. It is called Winning with the Hand I Was Dealt. And I want you to understand, in life, we all get dealt a hand. Sometimes it's a good hand, sometimes it's a bad hand, but we all get dealt a hand in life, and we can't cry about the hand we were dealt. We got to try to win with the hand we are dealt. So be on the lookout for my new book in 2022, Winning with the Hand I Was Dealt, baby, because I got dealt some bad cards, but you know what? We winning with them. So let's get back on this. We were talking before the break about overcoming obstacles to your success. One of the things I want to recap is that you have to know your definition of success. That is very important. What does success mean to you? It may not be $1 million in the bank. It may not be marriage. It may not be all of your children being college graduates. What does success mean to you? Number 2 point that I made was stay away from comparisons. Don't compare your business, your marriage, your life, your children, your house, your body, your looks to anyone else. Be confident and be sure in your life, in your path. Be in love with your path in life. Don't compare with other people. The other point I made in our recap was competition, this competitive spirit that has overtaken everything. Everybody's not your competitor. So don't get wrapped up in that. So now we're going to move forward. And the other thing we talked about was unrealistic expectations. So now we're going to move along into my list of obstacles to your success. Now, let me just tell you, this is one of the biggest obstacles that I've seen, especially with new business owners. One of the biggest obstacles to success is lack of knowledge. So many people go into business or go into relationships, go into fields that they know nothing about. People open restaurants because they can cook, or somebody said they can cook, or because they cook a mean pot of greens. Now you want to open up a whole restaurant, but your lack of knowledge of the restaurant industry may actually be an obstacle to your success in that field. You may not be able to actually be successful if you have a lack of knowledge. Hey, Melissa, she said that's a big one. Yes, I really do believe if you're talking about the lack of knowledge, that is a huge one for a lot of people. And just because you see someone else doing it doesn't mean that you can do it without the knowledge of that industry. Now, I want to say this about the lack of knowledge. Knowledge is at our fingertips nowadays. I mean, you can just about find out anything on the internet. I mean, you don't have to be with a lack of knowledge nowadays, but you do need to know what you are lacking. I love when Lisa, the boss lady, says, you don't know what you don't know. And that is so true. Sometimes you are not even aware that what you are lacking and what's causing you to be held back in your business or in your relationships is that you don't have knowledge of what you're lacking. So in my life, I have learned to always, always, always seek out knowledge, no matter what I was facing, even if it was simple as being let go from a job and not knowing if I had money to pay my rent the next week. I got online and started searching. Is there help for people who got fired from their job and don't have money to pay their rent next week? Googled it just like that. What did I find? I found there was help for people who lost their job and didn't have money to pay their rent next week. Lack of knowledge will keep you from knowing that. But I have always been a person that seek out knowledge. This is one of the major obstacles to people's success. They don't lack the knowledge it takes for them to take their business, their relationship, their fitness to the next level. So you will find even with someone who you know, may have lost weight or had surgery or whatever, you will find that it's difficult for them to be successful in maintaining it if they don't gain knowledge of their own metabolism, how their body functions, the best exercise for their body type and their age group. These are the things that can be a hindrance to your success. A lack of knowledge is a big one. And that is a really good one. Melissa K says, and just ask. Don't be afraid to ask questions. This is huge because sometimes you just don't want people to know that you don't know. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think, and it's just my opinion, I think that's an immature way to live life. None of us come here knowing everything. So it's no shame in not knowing what you don't know. So don't live with a lack of knowledge when there's somebody out there, several somebodies who have the answers to all the questions that you have. You have to open your mouth. You have to say, hey, I need help. I don't know this. I don't know that. And believe you me, there's somebody out there that does and wants to help you and wants to give you that information. So don't let something like a lack of knowledge be an obstacle to your success. Now we're going to move on because this obstacle to success is something that a lot of people don't have control of. Life events. You know, life happens and life can be very, very, very unpredictable. Sometimes we face events in life that can literally cripple us. And we feel like, how can I continue? How can I be successful in my business, in my marriage, in parenting? How can I be successful when I'm dealing with the death of a loved one, or an addiction, or the loss of a job, or an illness, something so unpredictable? I didn't even know I was sick, or these type of things, life events. I just want to share with you that life events happen to each and every one of us. Nobody is exempt. We don't have crystal balls. Most of us don't know the future. Most of us, I'm just saying. So we are at the mercy of time. We're at the mercy of fate. We do not know what tomorrow holds. So life events can be a huge obstacle to your success. And let me just say this. For me, I have had one of the most unpredictable lives ever. I have gone through a situation where one of my children had cancer as a toddler, went to bed totally fine, woke up paralyzed. How do you deal with that? I could have allowed that to be an obstacle to my success. But what I had to realize, not with just that incident, but with several of my life events, several things that occurred in my life, even from a child, I had to realize that what I am going through right now is simply for a season. I cannot take it personally. I cannot get too far off into my feelings. I need to understand that this is the season of my life and I can still be successful. I can exist in other seasons of my life. This is temporary. So, what we need to do when life events knock us down, and sometimes they do knock you down, especially the death of a loved one, will knock you down so low where you feel like, do I even still want to be here? But you have to learn to exist in those moments, embrace those moments, but still know that you have a purpose. Your life has purpose, and you have a purpose, and you still have a path to walk, and you still can be successful. So life events definitely are obstacles, but we can overcome them. You just have to know that it's temporary. Nothing lasts forever. It is temporary. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about, oh my goodness, this one, and this has been a big one for me and a lot of people that I know. This is like one of the major things that I had to learn to overcome was a major obstacle, unhealed trauma. Now, a lot of people are using trauma, 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 trauma. Trauma's become a buzzword like so many other words and catchphrase. But listen, it's a very real thing. There have been studies that prove trauma, experiencing and going through trauma can literally change your DNA. So it literally changes your biological makeup. You become a different person when you experience traumatic events. But a lot of times people don't understand you have to heal from trauma. Unhealed trauma can be a huge obstacle to your success. You can be going, 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 going. You can reach a certain height and then just stop. You stop growing, you stop being successful, you stop making connections with people because you have some trauma that is not healed. I'm preaching and talking from experience because I have experienced a great deal of trauma in my life. But what I learned from that trauma, because I've been such a tenacious and determined individual, is that I can be healed from it. Now, I'm going to just say this. Some trauma is so devastating that it is a lifelong process of healing. So don't let anybody put you on a timeline for your healing. Because for me personally, I will share a personal. Sometimes I wake up every single day. Hey, Melissa. Yes, she says so true. Thank you so much. I wake up every single day and work on my trauma. Some of the things that I've dealt with throughout my life. I have to continue to build myself, work on myself. It is a lifelong process for me. There are some traumas that I've experienced in my life that I will never be completely healed from. But the healing is a everyday process. So if you have experienced trauma, you cannot just gloss over it. You have to put in the work to heal. Unhealed trauma can be the biggest obstacle to your success, and you do not want to hold that. It is so very important that we learn how to heal from our trauma. So seek help, seek counseling, seek therapy, even if it's a support group, whatever you need to do to overcome and heal from your trauma. Unhealed trauma can be one of the biggest obstacles to your success. And you wonder why? Well, I'll tell you, because some things can trigger you from unhealed trauma. And then there are some things that you know you could do that you might not do because the trauma that you experienced caused you to have lower self-esteem, or caused you to doubt yourself, caused you to blame yourself, look at yourself in a different light, not trust yourself, not feel like you're worthy. That's the big one. Not feel that you're worthy of the success. And when I tell you, when you don't think you're worthy of the success, you will not receive it. You have to heal from your trauma. Now, the next one that I'm going to say, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, because I think a lot of people will probably say this is not an obstacle to success, because people have experienced success with this challenge. But I'm going to just say your environment can be a huge obstacle to your success. Environment. Sometimes you are not in a place that's going to best prepare you or best launch you. Sometimes you are not in the area that is best and most conducive to your growth and to your success. Environment can be a huge obstacle to your success. So many people had to leave the place they were from to become successful. So many people have had to relocate, find other places in other cities, find other people, other groups to relate to in order to reach the level of success that they are trying to reach. Your environment can play a big role and can be a huge obstacle to your success. Not just your environment, where you live or what part of town you live, but the people that you live near, the people that you socialize with. It's all a part of your environment. And let me just tell you, your environment can be the biggest obstacle to your success. You have to take a note. Hey, Lisa the Boss Lady. Yeah, she says that's the one. I am in agreement, because one thing I have learned in my life is to move around. I have learned to move around, because sometimes the environment that I find myself in is not conducive to my growth. Sometimes it's not conducive to my mental health, and it's not conducive to my free spirit. Sometimes you just can feel whether or not the environment you are striving or not in that environment. We all know that certain plants can only thrive in certain climates. Certain flowers can only bloom in certain areas. That is the same for you and I. We have to take note and take account of our environment. Your environment can be the biggest and most treacherous obstacle to your success. So I hope that you guys have gotten something out of this tonight. I'm going to recap these obstacles to success, and then I want to talk about, after we come back from the break, I'm going to recap it. Then I want to talk about how we can overcome obstacles. My brother is tuning in. Thank you so much. Chef Square is tuning in. I'm so happy to see your name pop on the screen, bro. It is so difficult when somebody you love is ill and you cannot get to them. I just want you to know, Chef Square, Lisa the Boss Lady, that I have been praying, and I've been hitting my Hikmo Shah praying. I'm going to need y'all to understand. Praying in the spirit, because I need my brother to be well. So anyway, we are going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and recap these obstacles to your success and how we can overcome them. Because believe you me, you can overcome. If I can overcome some of the obstacles that I've dealt with, let me tell you something. Anybody can. So when we come back from break, we're going to talk about the obstacles to your success. Hey, bro, you know we love you, sis. Well, y'all better. I'm just saying. No, I need you to get well. Take care of your health. It is so good to see your name on that screen, brother. I need you to understand that. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with a recap and some tools and tips on overcoming the obstacles that you may be facing to your success. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's your girl, Lisa Denae, owner and general manager of Stunner Radio. We are urban talk radio, broadcasting live and pre-recorded shows 24/7 at stunnerradio.com and all podcast platforms. I'm happy to announce that we are going to be a part of the largest radio and press junket in the state of Texas. That's right. It is the Radio and Press Junket presented by Loud Music. I want to see you there. If you are an artist, you need to be a part of this event. Go to loudmusic.com/press to get your passes, or just click the link in our bio here at Stunner Radio. We're going to be there. Hope to see you there too.
You are now in the presence of a real one. You are now in the presence of a real one. You are now in the presence of a real one, a real one, a real one, a real one.
Catch my smoke, smoke, catch my smoke, smoke, catch my smoke. I hope you don't choke, choke. You're looking crazy cause you thought it was a joke.
Hey guys, we are back, and I hope you didn't think it was a joke. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, shout out to all of my supporters of the single Smoke. Lisa Denae featuring David Cadence. We are coming back with you for more next year. New music. I've been working hard on it, you guys, and I'm just really letting my creative juices flow. I'm not letting nobody put me in a box when it comes to my music. So anyway, thank you for your support. So guys, we've been talking tonight about, I want to recap really quick, the obstacles that I shared with you. One was not knowing the proper definition of success, what it means to you, not someone else. Two is comparisons, comparing your life, your relationship, your job, your car, your house to other people. Three, overly competitive. When you compete with everybody, you're not being your best self. The next one was unrealistic expectations. What really do you expect, and is it realistic? The next one was lack of knowledge. A lot of things people want to be successful in, they don't even really know how. So you have to seek knowledge on whatever you're trying to be a success in, whether it's a mother, whether it's a wife, whether it's a business owner or an athlete. You need to have as much knowledge about what you're doing as possible, and the knowledge is out there. Don't let lack of knowledge be a barrier or an obstacle to your success. The next is life events. We know life is unpredictable. Nobody knows what tomorrow holds, but we have to overcome these life events because we all face these type of obstacles. Unhealed trauma was the next one, and environment. So next, I want to give some tools that have worked for me. Now, I'm not Iyanla, and I'm not any other of these people, but I can tell you this. I've been through some, okay, I'm going to need to understand. I've been through some things that would make people just roll over and die, give up. You know what I'm trying to tell you? So I do have some tools that will help you overcome obstacles to your success. Number one. This is my number one tool for overcoming obstacles to your success. You have to become an individual. You got to be able to stand on your own too, no matter what. An individual. It's great to have a support system. It's great to have a squad. It's great to have a team. But let me tell you something. You got to be so confident and so strong and so sure of yourself as an individual that you do not even really care how people feel about you, what they think about you, your next move. Because some of you can be so wrapped up into what other people think about you that you won't do the things that's necessary for you to be successful. You can't do that. You absolutely 100% have to be a strong individual. And you cannot worry about other people. I don't know what was going on with my computer just then. It freaked me out for a minute. But you can't worry about other people. That's my number one tool. My number two tool, don't take life events personally. Everybody go through stuff. Don't connect your last hardship don't connect your current hardship with the last hardship. You know, sometimes we go through hardships. Say you lose your job. What does your mind go to immediately? The last disappointment you had. This just like the last time when I lost my job. Don't connect them. That last thing is over. Whatever you're going through right now, that don't got nothing to do with what you went through last year. Don't connect these things. Let last year's trauma and last year's life event stay last year. Because what happens is you get into this thing. Thank you so much, Melissa. You get into this thing of, I'm always suffering. I'm always going through. Things bad are always happening to me. And when you develop that type of mindset, yeah, that's how your life gonna be. Take it just as it is for that day. Don't connect them. Because you know, when you go through something, I know some of you have heard and seen people do this. When something bad happens, they start talking about all the other bad things. This just like when I lost my grandpa. This just like, no, don't do that. Whatever is going on for today is for today. We're not going to connect it to last year. We're not going to connect it to when we was a child. We're not going to connect it to anything. It's what I'm going through at the moment. And when it's done, it's done. I'm not going to focus on it. One thing I learned about life is that really, no matter how good somebody else's life look, trust me, it ain't that great. We all go through things. So don't take life events personal and get into a pity party of, oh, pitiful, poor, pitiful me. It is what it is. It's life, but we live to fight another day. One other thing that I wanted to talk about is focus. So many of us lose focus. I myself do everything in my power to keep focus. When I mean writing down notes to myself, I send voice messages to myself, I text myself, I do all these things so that I do not lose focus. I tell myself every day, or I will write down, when you lose focus, remember this. Or I'll like I said, I'll text myself, hey, get back on track. And it's crazy because I schedule these texts to come to me at certain times. And sometimes they pop up just when I need to see it, when I need to hear it. Focus. There are so many things distracting us these days. So many things getting us off our focus. But it's so important to focus. And if you're going through something right now that feels like an insurmountable obstacle, it feels like, oh my God, how am I going to get through this? Trust me, you can get through it. I have been in a situation where I was in a domestic violence shelter. And since this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, this is a very timely story. I was in a domestic violence shelter, but I had a really good opportunity to write a blog, and people were trying to, help me get into, I used to be a model, so they were helping me get into the world of fashion, write this blog. Now, I didn't carry on the blog, but it wasn't really for that. I didn't know until after the fact. Me carrying on that blog, even though I was in a shelter, was for me to learn the power of endurance, perseverance, and to keep on moving and to focus. When we were in the little outside area of the shelter at the picnic tables or whatever, I was doing my blog. I was working on my blog. I was taking pictures for my blog. And some of the women were like, what are you doing? I was like, well, I have a fashion blog. You still doing it even though you're in here? Yes, ma'am. Fashion don't stop. Work don't stop. My success don't stop. My life don't stop. So though I may be experiencing a traumatic event, I have to stay focused on what my goals are. And that's what I'm encouraging you today. You have to stay so focused that you don't even listen to people that trying to get you off focus. So many people approach me with business opportunities. Do this, do that. Oh, I made this X amount of dollars. Yeah, that's not what I'm doing though. I'm happy that it worked for you, but I have to stay focused on my path. The focus is so important. Before you know it, you have 15 different things you're trying to do. But the sad part is you might only really want to do 2 or 3 of them. So your focus is going to be very important. That's a tool that I learned. Another tool that I learned that was so big was just like the obstacle I talked about, environment. Your environment can be a tool for overcoming obstacles. Get around people who know how to overcome. If you're around people who don't know how to overcome and you're going through something, you think you're going to overcome? I've heard so many people say, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. That's environment. That's letting you know right there, you need to get somewhere where you can overcome your obstacles. I will never, ever forget being on the Steve Harvey show, being around that level of greatness, watching the producers work, watching the lighting and the makeup people, and even Steve, watching them work. Baby, those people are focused. They're not even caught up in the limelight themselves. Steve Harvey was reading his notes, honey. He wasn't looking around like, oh, yes, I'm Steve Harvey. I can just wing it. No, baby, he was focused. He was reading his notes. He was about the business of being Steve Harvey because he was focused. So that is a huge tool that I want people to really use, is stay focused and get around the right people that's going to help you be focused. Because believe it or not, even your friends and your family can be a distraction to your success and an obstacle. So get around people that can help you stay focused. That is a huge deal. And for couples or for people who are trying to be a couple, if you're not supportive of your mate, don't be mad about them getting around other business people that is supportive, because they have to be focused on the success. If you want your partner to win, let them do what they need to be a winner. Now, the title of my broadcast tonight was Winning Against All Odds. And so I just want to say on a personal note that a lot of times the odds are stacked against you. A lot of times you feel like, man, this stuff comes so easy to other people. I got to fight for everything. And I'm speaking from experience. But you're looking at somebody who used to stutter. I used to stutter so bad especially when I got mad, I couldn't even get my words out. I never thought that I would be talking as a career, that I would be a talk show person, a podcaster. I couldn't even talk. I stuttered so bad. And then the fact that I had experienced some extremely traumatic incidents in my childhood, it made me so afraid to talk to people. Now, if anybody knows me personally, who's listens or watches, I ain't scared to talk to nobody. Not at this point in my life. But I overcame those obstacles to my success. And that's why I'm sharing it with you. The way that I overcame that was getting around people who were in that lifestyle. The people who traumatized me, I get from around them. The people who lived that way had low self-esteem. I had to get from around them. The people who let their lives just devastate and crash and crush them, smash them. I had to get from around them. And that's why I'm telling you the tools to overcome your obstacles to success. I have to win at all costs. One thing that everybody that knows me knows, I will never quit when it comes to getting something I want. I'm very sure of myself. I'm very confident in my abilities. And as long as I'm alive and as long as I have my right mind, I'm going to win. So I want to encourage you to have that same mentality. Don't worry about what it looks like right now. You can overcome any obstacle if you use certain tools. And honey, let me tell you, if you've been in the same city for 20 years, doing the same business for 20 years, and you're not successful, move around. That is an obstacle to your success. That environment is not conducive to your growth. You need to move around. If you have been in the same relationship and y'all not growing together or separately for 20 years, again, move around, move along. Next, because that's not conducive to your growth. You have to be willing to be flexible enough to allow yourself to win. And this is one thing I want to say to Black women. I want you to get this if you don't get nothing else. You have to love yourself, baby. You have to, and you know what? Not just Black women, all women, because society really do put us in these constraints of if I don't look like this, or I don't act like this, or I'm not shaped like this, my voice don't sound like this, I don't have this many followers, or I don't have this type of money, well, I'm not good enough. Let me tell you something. You good enough, and your level of success, your definition of success is not the same as the next person's. So be in love with yourself, because self-hate, self-deprecation, self-doubt will be a huge obstacle to your success. When that door opens for you, you got to be able to run through it. When somebody give you an opportunity and tell you, do you think you can do it? They don't want to hear, well, I'm pretty sure. They will say, of course I can. I know I can do it. I'm ready. You have to be so in love with yourself that nothing can stop you, and that no matter what setback comes my way, it's temporary, because I'm gonna come back. It's just a setup for a comeback. Melissa says, it took me 50 years to love myself. I don't know how much I believe that, because you don't look a day over 35. I'm just trying to say, girl, you look good, girl. That's all I'm saying. You are so speaking the truth. Thank you so much, Melissa. But I feel you, because here's the thing. When you don't love yourself, or when you don't correctly see yourself, when you don't see yourself correctly, you can shortchange yourself. You can shortchange yourself. Melissa says, yes, thanks, girl. You know you look good, girl. I'm just confirming what you already know, girl. But anyway, you can shortchange yourself. And this is big, because this is something that I learned. Sometimes people can see so much in you and you can't see it in yourself. But the only person who can really make you successful is you. It doesn't matter if Steve Harvey comes to me tomorrow and says, I'm going to give you a national talk show. If I get up there and I don't believe in me, there's nothing he could do for me to make me successful. It won't work. I have to know. It's me. I'm the one who has to know. I have to be sure of myself. I have to love myself. And on that note, I want to say, if you are, or anyone you know is dealing with low self-esteem or low self-worth, or, anxiety that leads you to feel like you're not good enough, reach out to your girl. I have a journal called the Love Self Journal. It is available on Amazon. I want to gift that to you. If you contact me and say you want a copy of the journal, I will send it to you free of charge if you are struggling with self-love. Because let me tell you something, that is the way that I got over my self-love issues, is through journaling. I would journal everything that I felt about myself every single day, no matter if it was good or bad. If I felt ugly, I would say that I feel ugly. If I felt fat, I would say that in my journal, I feel fat. If I felt dumb, I would say I felt dumb today. And you know what I found? I found out that word for word, the things that I was feeling when I wrote in my journal, it was something that somebody told me at some point in my life. It was somebody else's words, not my own. I would never have been able to unlock that if I didn't do the journaling. So journaling helps, trust me. If you want a copy, just reach out to your girl. I will send it to you. Hey, Miriam, Miss Mimi Agunu. She says, bullseye, 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 bullseye. Thank you so much. And like I said, journaling will help you. Once you understand that those things that are in your head that you're hearing, those negative thoughts did not come from you, you will know how to shut them down, because that's what I had to learn to do. And believe you me, it was a journey. It was a very long journey for me. Melissa said it took her 50 years. I'm gonna say it took me about 20 years. It took me at least 20 years to really learn even who I was. I have been so stuck on what people told me I was. People told me I was mean, and I just thought I was mean. People told me that I was not friendly, so I thought I wasn't friendly. All these things that people told me. I was so dark. I was black. I know I'm black, but I thought that I was like 50 shades of black. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that. We like the darkest. But I'm just saying it wasn't the case for me. But if you don't know where those words and those thoughts are coming from, you can't shut them down. So I want to encourage you, even if you don't use my journal, if you are struggling with self-worth, self-love, self-acceptance, start journaling. Trust me, it will help you. The good, the bad, and the ugly, write it down. Write it down, how you feel, how you felt at that moment. And you'll start seeing patterns. You'll start to discover that a lot of these bad thoughts and a lot of this negativity did not come from you. And you will be able to shut it down. So now, when you wake up, after you learn to love yourself, you learn to say new things to yourself and give yourself new thoughts, you will wake up happy to be alive. Because trust me, I am happy to be alive every day of my life. I'm just happy to be alive. And when people say, well, ain't you mad because this didn't work out? Or ain't you mad because that? I'm like, no, I'm still alive. I'm happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here. And with that opens up so many more opportunities for me, because I'm just happy to be here. I'm good. I'm happy already. So this is what I'm trying to tell you in overcoming obstacles to success. You got to know what your version of success is, because let me tell you something. For me, just living to the ripe old age of 49 is a success, baby. I done did something big that I didn't even think I was going to be able to do. I never saw myself living this long, because my childhood was so traumatic. I literally thought I was not going to be here. So I'm happy. Yes, I'm striving for more success, but I just want to let you know, because nobody told me this. So I want to tell you, when you chase it, sometimes it won't come. But when you're just happy in what you're doing, you love what you do, you love doing it, it gives you life, and you're happy about your life and you love yourself, it seems like the opportunities just start coming at you. You don't know what to do with it. You even start looking different. I've seen people that have known me 20 years ago and say, girl, you look so different. Literally think I had work done. I'm like, really? You think I got money like that? Nah, baby, I ain't had no work done. I did the work. The internal work. That's the work that I had done. I did the internal work, because life can be very devastating, and the obstacles that you can face to your success can be very difficult to overcome. But I will tell you this, if you put in the work, You can do it, but you got to face the good, the bad, and the ugly. And a lot of times it's a whole lot of ugly that we don't want to look at within ourselves. So that was my words for tonight. I hope you got something out of this. Please let me know in the comments how you felt about tonight's episode. If you have some particular obstacles that you're facing that we did not address on tonight's show, please let me know and we can address them in a future episode. I hope you guys love the new format. I'm telling you, we are talking about empowerment and living a full life. We're talking about getting the best out of ourselves. That is what it's all about now. Getting the best out of yourself and out of your life so you can live your best life. Because whether you got $20 or $20 million, if you're not happy, it ain't gonna matter. So I want everybody to be happy, just as happy as I am every morning to wake up in the morning. So you guys know, if you've been tuned in, that I really, as I get older, I'm switching gears now, I'm starting to really love Halloween. So I got these videos that I've been doing every week, Freaky Friday, where I am making, using the Reface app. Shout out to Reface. You guys know I love you so much. Shout out to Reface. Using the Reface app to do some Freaky Friday transformations. You guys, I hope you enjoy these. Thank you so much for Melissa K. She says, great show. Thank you, Miss Miriam, Miss Mimi Igonu. Always great info. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Listen, I want you to know that you can catch Miss Mimi every Saturday on Stunner Radio, the Love Power Radio Show. And Melissa Case, honey, let me tell you something. And the Lisa the Boss Lady with Travel Talk Tuesday. If you are a traveler, or if you want to be a traveler, you got to tune into Travel Talk Tuesdays every Tuesday on Stunner Radio. And they have great info, great guests. It's a really great show. So anyway, you guys, I'm going to share my Freaky Friday for this week. I really hope you like it. Give me your thoughts in the comments. It's good fun. And if you do a Freaky Friday, please, please, please tag me in it, because I really want to see it. So here it is, you guys. I hope you enjoy.
Where's the next generation?
Bonjour. Emily? That's all.
You guys, did you love it? OMG. I love myself as Miranda Priestley, girl. The Devil Wears Prada. Oh my God, that was so much fun. I think I'm going to get that haircut when I get a little bit older. That gray look kind of good on your girl. Anyway, I hope you guys like those Freaky Fridays. Please, before October is over, do one for me in the Reface app and tag me at Lisa Denae. Freaky Friday, hashtag Freaky Friday LDL for Lisa Denae Live. Tag me, tag Reface. I want to see your Freaky Fridays. It's the Reface app. It is free. Anyway, guys, I want to talk real quickly before we leave about the Boss Up Boot Camp. Tomorrow, if you are in Houston and surrounding areas, please come out. I know that it is tomorrow, and I know that you should have registered, but I am telling you, if you want to get the information, come out. You may be in for more than what you're bargaining for. I'm just going to say it is a wonderful event. Lisa the Boss Lady is doing the thing, and she has some wonderful speakers, including myself, Miss Kat, a movie director and the owner of Flat Fee Credit and Tax Services, LaFlower Bowie, who is a life coach and an author. Come out to the Reverse It Center here in Houston, Texas, you guys. I would really love to see you there. I also want to say one more thing, that it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. If you or someone you know is in an abusive or toxic relationship, please get help. I know that we are all familiar with the Gabby Petito case, and my heart breaks, not because she was so known and people saw her in the media, but because the police were called to intervene. This young woman's life could have been saved. If domestic violence was taken as seriously as violence and abuse against animals, I do believe that there would have been a greater intervention for that young woman. Now she's gone. Her fiance, who is the prime suspect, is also now gone. So if you or someone you know is in an abusive or toxic relationship, get help, get out. You do not always have tomorrow. I want to always dedicate this show in the month of October is going out to my friends Carmen Hendricks and Pastor Kenneth Toussaint. And I'm so proud of myself that I got through that without crying, because every time I say their names, I cry, because they were taken away from us, from somebody that they loved. So this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and just know that it's not always a woman that is a victim. Men are victims. Children are victims. So if you know someone, please get help. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Let me know what you think, y'all. Give me your advice, your opinions. Next week, we are going to be talking about energy. Energy, y'all. Everybody says the term, I'm giving the same energy, I'm returning the same energy, or keep that same energy. But do you really know about energy? So next week we talk about energy and energetic connections. And I hope you will be here with me, because I got a lot to say, you guys. I love you so much for your support. I will see you next week, and I'll see some of you tomorrow at the Boss Up Boot Camp. I cannot wait. It's going to be a good time. So anyway, you guys, see you next week. Bye.